Hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the live. I hope you guys are doing all right today. Make sure that if you're here and you're watching a replay, drop down in the comments below. Hey, let me know. I'm trying to see who's here today. How y'all doing today? Let's go ahead and do a Q&A. Who taught you how to love? Who taught you? Yeah, question mark, not an exclamation mark. Who taught you how to love? Hey, I love you too, Etin. Am I saying your name right? Etin Masani. How are you, sweetie? Hey, Minyun. Hi. Hello. Hello, y'all. We got a good conversation to have today. Am I taking questions? Not tarot questions, not tonight. But I mean, we haven't started just yet. So if you want to ask me a question, I can always answer it. I mean, you don't need cards for every question. Hey, Jalen. Hey, my foodie friend. Of course, eating. I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to get to know y'all. Every day is a new day. How y'all doing today? I'm excited. It's Friday. It's Friday. Guess what I'm going to be doing? Homework. No, I don't know. It depends on how I feel. I got some things to do, so we'll see how we'll do it. Hey, Torin. Hello. Y'all asking how's my day? My day has been busy. Back to back. Something to do at all times. That's how my day has been. So, you know, I was excited because I got to get this salad that I like. Hi, Aziz. I'm from America. I got to get this salad that I really like. And it has like pasta in it. Like bow tie pasta. And then it has cheese. Then it has eggs. And it has bacon. And then it has like lettuce. It is so good. I love that salad so much. I haven't had it in a long time. I went to the store yesterday to go get it, but they didn't have it. So I have to go to a different store today to go get it. They had it at the other store. Shout out to India. We love India. Lonely with your mom? Okay, hey son or daughter. How you doing, baby? I'm glad to be a mother. Hey, Rumi and Zoe. Welcome back to the live, baby. How are you doing? I'm happy to be a mom. Not only to my son who is over here asleep on the ground, but to my sons and daughters on the live. Hello, everybody. I'm doing well. I'm happy that you guys are here. Happy Friday. Happy. Look, I just saw 333. It was 3 minutes and 33 seconds. It's going to be a good night. Are y'all excited? Today, we're talking about who taught you how to love. Now, mind you, in the book, I love this. Here's one of the quotes. Te amo, gracias, mi amor. Gracias. So it says, connection is why we're here. It gives us purpose and meaning to our lives. Realize connection is why we're here. And real belonging feels like exhaling. Exhaling. When you can belong, you can relax. You can just be. You can be yourself. Okay? It said no more school, period. Is your content great or not? I don't know. You tell me, friend. It's up for you to decide. You said, I am incapable, far away from love nowadays. Long distance, lots of cultural change, huge character change, and improvements. You're incapable of loving? You are love. You cannot be incapable of loving. That is the foundation of who you are. So, if you guys can, go ahead and answer this question. Who taught you how to love? Was it a mom? Was it a dad? Was it a sister, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, a great aunt, a great uncle, a grandma, a grandpa? Was it you? Did you have to go through trials and tribulations to learn how to love? Was it a relationship that you went through? Was it a teacher? Was it someone who you worked with? Was it a couple that you admire and that you got to see in real life? Who taught you how to love? Hey, Shabi. Your chest is not activating with lovely emotions. Your chest is feeling lots of pain. I mean, at least you're aware. Why do I provide 2 definitions? What definitions have I provided? Technically, your whole family taught you how to love. That's cute. I love it. I love it. So let's see if we can get to 10. We'll see. Let's see if we can get to 10 answers. So we got 1 person who answered. They said their whole family. You who taught me through your beauty. Oh, beauty is not love, but we'll take it as an answer. 8. I mean, beauty can be a form of love, but my beauty is just my appreciation to myself. So we got, let's see if we can get 8 more people to answer this question. We're only 6 minutes in, so we got a little bit of time. Hey, K-Ma, welcome back to the live, baby. You said myself. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Ash, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Make sure y'all double tap the live, y'all. So we got 7 more people. Let's see. I remember going back and like I'm looking at my answer to this when I journaled about it, and I was very confused. I was like, who taught me how to love? But I go back and I had to really think about it. I realized the person who taught me how to love was a mixture of things. My grandmother. On top of that, myself. I had to go through trials and tribulations to learn how to love. It wasn't an overnight thing. It was lots of learning, being attentive, being aware, all that. What about your mom? I said my grandmother. I said my grandmother. But everybody teaches you things in their own way. What we're going to go into detail about is, number 1, how do we learn? Because that's important. A lot of people, we can say like, okay, who taught you this? But what if you don't really know how you learn? You don't even know how you learned this. You don't even know how you got this information. So we're going to talk about how do you learn so that you can understand how did I learn love. And then we're going to talk about in what way did you learn it, right? In what way are you mimicking those who came before you in the way that they love people? Because people are loved. So Marzek, hey Dwayne. Marzek, you said, why did you take your channel to a different place? What you mean, baby? Dwayne said, a lot of things I self-taught, no lie. No, for real. Hey, Jared. Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? Shout out to Poland. Thank you, baby. Shout out to Poland. So, I think that was, I lost count. I think there was 3 people who answered. Let's see if we can get to 7 more people who can answer. So right now we're answering the question, who taught you how to love? Okay, look at that. We got 6 more. So you said, I guess my mom taught me when I was with her as a kid. But then when I had distance education and work life, I only had God. But his love was also a deception. Anyways, oh, they said anyways. Anyways, okay. Okay. Bonjour. So Pat said my mom, definitely. So everybody's saying that their mom, their family. That's cute. Grasshopper said my babysitter. Okay. That's new. Okay, you said your father was, I guess, too shy to show emotion. Okay, so I'm seeing, Pat, that you are associating love with showing emotion. Okay. What are you doing with your life, friend? You got a lot of questions. You gotta give me more details so I can answer your questions for you. Because I don't know where these questions are coming from. Hey, Teresa. Okay, we're getting to a good point. Let's do 4 more people. Let's see if 4 more people can answer the question, and so we can go ahead and get into the conversation for tonight. Hey, Neil. Okay. Hey, Sajid. Hello. How are you? Do I have Cash App? Of course I have Cash App. You know, I'm going to put it in the comments just because you asked. Just because you asked. Am I educated in psychology? No. What I study is communication disorders, speech language pathology. So I study communication. Not mass communication like being a news anchor or something like that, or journaling, but the actual physical act of being able to talk and speak and communicate with people. Okay, period. Let me see. I love, love, love communication. I love, love, love it. I'm going to put the Cash App since y'all asked. Cash App. Thank you for whoever decides to Cash App on this lovely Friday. Friend, let's stay on topic. You asking all these questions, but you have not answered my question. You have not answered my question. Answer my question right here. Cool, nice touch in the ocean full of branded streams. Ooh. Yeah, this stream is to support manifestation. We're trying to manifest a happy life. We're trying to manifest love and belonging. That's what we're going to be doing here. And the way we manifest love and belonging is by gratitude, aka goodwill. And you can have goodwill by bringing awareness to the positive things in your life. Period. Goodwill meaning you are the one directing and navigating your life. You're the leader. And you can only move towards what you're aware of. And if you're constantly aware of the negative things in your life, i.e. bad relationships, bad experiences in relationships, that's what you're going to keep moving away from, or moving away from and isolating yourself, when there's actually like millions and millions of the other experiences that you can have in this world. So that's what we're doing here. You said, I actually have a huge lacking in my communication skills, but I'm also tired of thinking about improving it. I mean, I directly start doing something. Perhaps I can start reading books verbally. That's a perfect thing to improve your communication skills and literacy as well. Hello, hello. Hey, Damien. Welcome back to the live, friend. Yasina. Okay. Hey, Carlos. Okay, so we're looking for 4 more people. 4 more people. I want to see who taught you how to love before we get into the conversation tonight. Are y'all excited to learn about this tonight? I'm always excited, number one. I'm always excited to learn about love and belonging. These conversations has really been tweaking my mind a little bit. It has me showing up in different ways with people. I really do feel like journaling, doing the gratitude journal, okay, you can find this on Amazon in the description below if you're interested. Doing this journal took me to a different place by myself, right? When I did this journal personally, it allowed me to feel like more of myself. It reminded me who I was, and I felt like I was detached from who I am, but I was really always who I was. And it allowed me to show up more authentically. But when I come on here and we have these conversations about the prompts and the topic at hand, it exposes me to a different level. Whereas this allowed me to become who I am. Us having these conversations is allowing me to become more aware of the opportunities to have love and belonging and how to cultivate that in my own personal life. So I think that if you guys are showing up on these lives, or if you want to buy the book, not the book, but the journal, the gratitude journal, watch the lives. These lives are directly tied to each prompt. Seriously. So you'll get double whammy. Like, it will be amazing. So let me see what you said. Okay. You said to read books with joy. I'm working on a virtual human that will work in AI's hand. What? Do I look young? I am old enough to be in a master's program, to be getting a master's degree. That's how old I am. Y'all, okay, so let's see. I'm still looking for 4 more people. Let's see if we can get there. If not, if y'all are not wanting to answer, we can go ahead and get into the conversation. If you've been here and you're ready to get in the conversation, just put a 1. If you've been here, you ready to get in the conversation, just put a 1. Or you can just answer the question above. Who taught you how to love? Thank you, Pat. Thank you, thank you. Yes, y'all, I'm grown. I promise y'all, I'm grown. But it's looking like neither of y'all don't want to put the 1 nor answer. So we just gonna move on. I think y'all ready to move on. So we just gonna move on. Okay. So I think in order to know who taught you how to love, you have to know how did you learn in general, right? People think that you got to go to school to learn. Thank you, Pat. I saw your answer, babe. I saw you. So, okay. Look at you creating. Stay creative. Okay. So, one of my favorite, and y'all know, first of all, I do therapy, anywho. So, one of my favorite ways to teach children is through play. Interactive play, playing games, jumping, running, throwing things. Like, that's one of the best ways that people and kids, well, kids learn in general. But we also forget that as adults, that's how you continue to learn. Like, play doesn't just stop you from learning. So, play is a natural way of exploring the world around you. And it kind of is a way of exploring that still allowed you to make mistakes. So it's the same as a kid learning how to climb a monkey bars and then they fall off. So the same way that, you played as a kid is the same way that you were learning how to love. So if you were mimicking parental behaviors as a child, playing in the kitchen, pretending to cook, if you remember any type of weird stuff, like, if you be around kids, kids will show you exactly what's going on in the house, because they gonna sit up here and they gonna cuss, they gonna be like, you be the mommy, you be the daddy, and then they gonna be like, you not doing it right, and then you be like, and then you be like, do your parents be yelling at you like that at home? Like, that's how it really be. Okay. Hey y'all. So, games and stuff like that, when you think about how did I learn how to love, how did you play as a child? What type of play did you have, right? You also learn through just watching and seeing and keeping your eyes and keeping your ears and sensory things and imitating, like I just said, through play. People imitate. So what were you imitating? What did you see as a child? Literally, what was happening? We forget that we are so easily programmed, so easily, that just by watching and seeing something, that can stay embedded in our minds and unconsciously control us for a long time. If we got to be so honest, for a long time, right? So, what did you see? What happened all the time, over and over again? Like, if you could be like, okay, this always happened to me as a kid. This happened to me so often. Like, it was our normal. It just happened all the time. Like, that is, repetition is how we learn. Whether it was good repetition or bad repetition. So, if your mom came and kissed you on the forehead after dinner, before sleeping, and when you woke up, you're going to associate that with love, and that's going to be a way that you may show love or expect love in your life, is for it to be consistent. Okay, after dinner, I show my people love. Before I go to sleep, I show people love. Those are little ways that that people learn. Also, hands-on experience, actually going through it. So, if you went through an early relationship in your younger years, maybe let's say 16, 17, 18 is young enough to be in a relationship, right? Whatever you learned in those relationships, you're going to take that with you, and that's what's going to teach you how to love. Or even, how you relate to family members as a kid is showing you how you're loving, right? That's hands-on experience of you loving somebody in your family or your childhood friends. Hands-on experience on how you love those people. Sorry, y'all. I feel like I gotta sneeze. Oh my goodness. So anywho, Those are hands-on experiences. If you've had early friendships, you can be like, okay, this is how our relationship was. That is how you experience love, right? You experience love in friendship, in family, in romance, and you can even experience it at work. It don't have to be romantic love, right? So another one, storytelling. We grew up learning stories. That's how we pass on morals, and that's how we pass on tradition and cultures, is through stories. So you grew up listening to Goldilocks and the Three Bears. There's probably a few endings to Goldilocks and the Three Bears. What was the ending that you're used to? In a way that's teaching you how to love. How am I interacting with these people? Who is this lady who done broke into these bears' house? And how did these bears treat her? I'm not saying that the bear should have beat her up. But if it was me, you're not going to be in my house because that's not the way I love, sweetie. But somebody else, another story could have ended with the bears taking care of her. I don't really remember how the Goldilocks story went, honestly, if I could be so for real. Come here. Come here. Hey, John. So, however that story, that's just one. You never heard that story, Patrick? Thank you, thank you, thank you. You said you feel like it has to be romantic. You feel like love has to be romantic? Love is not just romantic. Hey, Jen. I gave birth to this one, yes. This is who I gave birth to. Don't we look alike? Baby, say hi to the camera. Say hi. So, literally, that is another way that we learn, is through storytelling. So what stories did you hear? Especially, what stories did you hear about your family? What were the stories that your family members told? Did you hear about that one aunt who stabbed her uncle? That one aunt who stabbed her husband? Like, there's some families that have those stories. Or you hear the stories about, oh, he takes care of her really well. He kisses the ground that she walks on, and she takes care of him really well. What stories did you hear growing up? Those are unintentionally affecting the way that you love people. Another one, social interactions. When you are interacting with people in the real world, especially, what were their reactions? It's going to shape the way you love. If you were bullied and you didn't get over that and you could not comprehend what was going on, it's going to shape the way that you love. This is teaching you how to love. If your parents bullied you, your aunt, your uncle, family members bullied you, sisters, brothers, that's going to shape the way that you love. Another one, the questions that you have for the life around you. If you're not questioning life, you're already unaware. You're already unaware if you're not questioning life, right? So that's going to shape the way you love. The questions that you ask as a child. I remember as a kid, I used to be like, I wish I could lie. I'm not a good liar. Why can't I lie? Because people used to be lying. Okay, John, period. Everybody shouting you out. I love that for you, John. You famous. Said Sade 10, you said, I think romance is a must, but of course it's not the only condition. Facts. Okay. So also making mistakes and figuring it out. These are things that help people learn. So when you think about who taught you how to love, did you learn this through their presence of them being here around you? Did you learn it through absence and them not being there? Did you learn it through their actions that they showed you? I know somebody earlier said that their father didn't teach them how to love because he didn't show emotions, but that's not the only way that somebody can show you their love, right? Emotions is just an expression, but there's other ways that people express themselves outside of emotions, and sometimes it is action. There are some fathers out there who, they feel like, I go to work, I pay the bills, you got a happy house, happy home. Not saying that that's how that individual's father is, but that's enough for them to feel like, this is me showing you love. So everybody shows love differently, and the way that you react to that person's love says a lot about how you learn about love. Did you learn love through presence and consistent actions or inconsistent actions? So you said, me, if someone wasn't learn how to love properly as a child, how do you think he or she should learn that as an adult then? First of all, you gotta make a decision. You gotta make a decision that you know, and acknowledge that, okay, I feel like I did not learn this, so I want to be better at this. So I'm deciding that I'm going to take whatever action necessary in order to be better at love. Then the next thing is research. Become more aware. Bring more awareness. Research without the idea of somebody's right or wrong. Just research with the intentions of attracting more information about this topic to you, right? Because once you get enough information, you can kind of start seeing the similarities between them all. And then I always like to go the middle ground. What is the middle ground between all of this information? I have 3 things around me. They may all be completely different, but in some way there's something that's similar, you know? That's how I would say, but that's just how my mind works. Everybody else has a different way that their mind works. I'm over here reading a comment at the same time as I'm talking. So that's how I would say, you know, learn how to love. But also, once you do that research and you made a decision, go out there and try it. Go see how you feel when you show people that love and you receive love back, right? That's how I would say. You said my mom cooked delicious foods. She caressed my head, said lovely words, and she keeps calling me every 2 days. Continues to do this without fail. Aww. So that's definitely a consistent love. Oh, let me go charge your phone, baby. That's definitely a consistent love and affectionate love. That's beautiful. That sounds like she was actionable. She showed you love through action and presence. That's a beautiful thing. Shout out to Ireland. Hey, Steven. How are you? So, yeah. What do y'all think about that? I want to know what y'all think. I don't want to just talk the whole time. What do y'all think about that? About learning how to love? Oh, Sahid said, my mom and dad and sister is my love. That's cute. Bye. Bye, John. Oh, you must be saying bye to them. I don't know. Never been taught that. Okay. Okay, thank you, Stephen. So, okay, so somebody said never been taught. You said, yeah, I agree, but that person might not know if he's developing in the right direction. I mean, in my eyes, there's never a wrong direction in life when you're trying. I truly do believe that when you set a goal for yourself, doors open up, especially depending on what your frequency is at, how you're managing yourself during those moments of time. I truly believe that you will attract the answer that you're going to get to as long as you stay open and persistent towards it. So I don't think, it's just really my belief that a lot of humans are not wrong in achieving their goals. I just think sometimes people need support. You know, you may need a mentor. You may need to go speak to people, a therapist. You know, that's also a part of, you know, you learning how to love, is you getting outside opinions and you making a decision about how you do that. But inherently, I think that no human can choose the exact wrong direction because there's a reason that they chose that. I think that they may be, how do I say this? Because this is a part that I wrote in a book about getting clarity about your goals, is that sometimes we prioritize the wrong things because we think that that's how it's supposed to be, instead of focusing on the feeling that you're wanting. So if you know that you're missing love, then you can't know that you're missing something without knowing what that something is. So that's how you'll know. It's like, okay, well, I know that this is missing from me, so let me focus on what this feeling is. And if you can focus on that feeling, and then you can attract more of it into your life, or at least more of a awareness to it in your life, because it's already there, you know. Hey, Rorico. They said, if you want to eat, come and feed me. If I want to eat, I gotta come feed you. That don't make no sense. Johnny said, I'm not going nowhere, Meiana. I'm not like that. What? John, I'm not about to play with you. Okay, periods I eat. Okay. Okay. We got a mad scientist. Hey Warrior, welcome back. You said your grandmother? I love that for you. You said welcome back. You said I'm back like the future. How you doing? I'm doing well. How you doing? I'm doing so well. So y'all know, have y'all ever seen those what is it called? Like studies about attachment theories and like how you'll know a child's attachment to their parents based off of when the mom leaves the room. Have you ever seen that? He said, okay, well, what was the question? Now got lost for a second. You know, Pat, you know, I'm gonna always get lost, you know. It's okay. We talking about who taught you how to love. You haven't seen that? Y'all ain't seen that before? No, you haven't? Okay, I'm going to do a little summary for y'all. So it's called the Strange Situation Study by Mary Ainsworth in 1970s. So it is the most famous study on attachments between infants and caregivers. Your attachment shows, you know, the way that you love. The way that you attach to things is the way that you'll love. And I need a good summary. This is too much. So the overall conclusion is children develop attachment styles based on how caregivers respond to their needs. The other one says these early patterns shape how people approach relationships later in life, whether they trust, love, fear abandonment, or avoid closeness. The studies show that love and security aren't just emotions, they are learned through consistent caregiving. So, okay. So that's again showing you that your love, at the end of the day, you are love. Love is within you. But the way that you've experienced love in your early childhood is going to shape you if you have not made a decision about it and, you know, moved from there. Okay, Amir. I hope all things go well with you, friend. So, you know, they say that, hey, Chris. Hey, baby. You have well, not you, but in the study, those who had a secure attachment, when the mom would leave, the child was upset, but they would calm down, you know, when the mom returned. They wouldn't like keep crying after the mom left, right? They would just be like, okay, my mom's back, cool, because, you know, they didn't like the leaving presence, but they trusted their mom. Their mom was there when they got there, right? So yeah, it showed that the show's confidence. It shows that the infant had confidence exploring when the mother was present, when they had that attachment, when they felt that love from their mom, and they saw their mother as safe, reliable, and responsive. So if you, let's think about it. Oh, not Kevin Gates. Not Kevin Gates. Not Kevin Gates. If you think about it, when you think about your caregivers, did you see them as safe, reliable, and responsive? That's going to tell you if you have a secure attachment. Mind you, Meiana, who taught you how to love my grandmother, also myself. It was a mixture of my grandmother's unconditional love. On top of that, me learning, trial and effects, relationships, friendships, all those things. Trial and effects. Trial and error. So, again, if you didn't see your caregivers as safe, reliable, and responsive, that's going to say a lot. Mind you, there's actually a book on attachment. In the book, they have a quiz. If you take the quiz, it will tell you your attachment style. And I like it because you can take another type of quiz and it will give you a very broad attachment style. But when you take this particular quiz, it tells you your attachment style to different relationships. So it's going to say in friendships, your father, your mother, in general. And in general, my attachment style is different compared to my attachment style with other people. And in totality, if I take a random quiz on attachment, it's going to say secure. But when I look and I take an attachments quiz that's detailed, it's going to give more information about how my attachment style is. And if I can be so honest, it was very on point. So it made me realize, oh, that's why I treat these people this way. Do I think unconditional love is always good? That's an interesting question, Pat. Because I think of so many things when I think of that question. Because it depends. Is it unconditional in a way that you are reinforcing bad behavior? Or is it unconditional as in you're always there to support and love, but you're reinforcing positive behavior? Because y'all know them stories. I know y'all done heard them about certain family members who allow grown men to be bums. I know you done heard them stories before if you lived in certain communities. You know, in the brown people communities, like I know Indian, Middle Eastern people, I've heard those stories from them where the mom is like treats the son like a prince and the daughter has to like slave away, you know. So it just really depends. I think unconditional love, as long as it's supportive to the person, you know, being a good person, treating people well and treating themselves well, then it's okay. But other than that, I don't know. But everybody has a different idea what unconditional love is. So you said that's the first case, yeah. You said, or rather love that has no limit. When you say no limit, then I think of like extreme, like doing anything. I don't know, but that's just my mindset. I think about people who like hurt other people because of their love for other people. I don't know. So let's get it back into it. So people who had an insecure avoidance style, pay attention. When the mom would leave the room, the child doesn't really care. Like the child wouldn't be upset when the mother leaves because they was used to it. They was like, girl, you ain't never here anyway. Like you just left. I don't pay no mind because where you been anyway? You always been like this. So that's like, you know, the child would basically, it just wouldn't register like, oh, my mom left. So the child would avoid the caregiver or ignore the caregiver when the mom would come back in the room. So they concluded that the caregiver may be emotionally unavailable or rejecting, so the child learns to suppress the needs. So basically it's saying, I have all of these needs, but because my mother, most likely, or my father, whoever your majority caregiver was, could not or was not meeting my needs consistently, I'm just not going to express that I have them. So that's an insecure avoidant. Another one was insecure resistant or ambivalent. So that was the child was very much in distress, upset when the mother would leave, but when the child would return, the child would seek comfort but also resist it. You ever had those kids that like fight they sleep? It's like you know you need that sleep, but you keep fighting to sleep. Why you don't want to go to sleep? So the kid will be upset with the mom, like, I really want your love, but you just left me, so I'm so angry, you know? So the conclusion was the caregiver is inconsistent, and sometimes they be available, other times may not. So the child would become anxious, and then they would have these strong emotions because, girl, you make me anxious. You ain't never consistent. You ain't never reliable, but you showing me love. But I want this love. But at the same time, I don't know when you gonna take it away, you know? The other one was disorganized. So this is something that was later added. So the child shows confused, fearful, or contradictory behavior. And that would look like, you know, often linked to the trauma or neglect or frightened caregiver behavior. So maybe if your parent was erratic, you know, abusive, something like that, they realize that the caregiver is both a source of comfort and fear, creating confusion, because it's like, oh my God, I love you, but at the same time, hold up, bitch, you just threw my cereal because I didn't eat it. So I don't know, bitch, I'm a little confused. I don't know what to do in this situation. So You said, do you plan on pursuing a career as a psychotherapist? Kind of get that feeling. Everybody does. Everybody does, but I am pursuing a career currently in speech language pathology. I'm going to be a speech therapist. I love communication. So, you know, I've been getting that for a very long time. But I'm a mindset coach, you know? So I think that makes it up. I've always said I don't want to be a therapist because when you are a therapist, there are certain boundaries that you cannot cross, right? There are certain things that I may not be able to say, and I'm held to an ethical, like, ethical and moral, like, law. And I just don't want to be held to that standard. I would rather be able to create my own environment as a mindset coach and support people through that mindset process and manifesting what they want and getting their thoughts straightened out and understood. And being able to be honest. Like, I want to be able to say, you're a bum, you know, without putting it in professional lingo. I want to be able to say, that man don't like you and you crazy. I probably wouldn't be that crazy. I wouldn't be that blunt all the time, but just in case I needed to. And you're not getting a refund because you over here wasting my time. You know, that's how I want to be. So, full transparency for real. This is what I'm seeing. This is how I'm seeing it. Here's the evidence to back it up. And here's what I think. You can do whatever you want to do with that information, but that's up to you. That's your life. So, that's how I feel about it. Hey, Deborah Nights, how you doing, friend? So, again, we talked about how kids learn. We just talked about how we create our attachment style. So you think about it. If you realize my parents were very consistent and reliable, you may have a very secure relationship. But then it's the same way you're going to develop an attachment style with friends, with family. So, you know, just don't think that just because your parents taught you, you know, how to have a secure relationship, that's going to be the same relationship that you have with everybody else. You have to have learned and went through trial and error, made mistakes, had playful experiences in order for you to set that attachment style with everybody else in your life. You said, all good. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Today is Friday. So that is what matters. Hey, Sahi Village Vlogs. Hey, baby. Not you on my WhatsApp number. But I'm American. I don't use WhatsApp. So, we're already at 42 minutes, y'all. We've been talking. We've been talking, y'all. What y'all think about that? Do y'all feel like y'all know y'all's attachment style? I'm really intrigued. I want to know. Because when we think about it, who taught you how to love? Mind you, this is one thing I used to think about all the time. Let me say it before I forget. One thing that I often think about when it comes to your parents and your family, your loved ones, so many people have like a family member or a parent that they do not like. Like they're like, I don't want nothing to do with this person. Right? But we forget that we are genetically, emotionally, mentally tied to these individuals, spiritually tied to these individuals, whether we like it or not. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. Genetically, these people have passed something down to you. So, you sometimes do have to shift from negative mindset to a gracious mindset in whatever way that's helpful to you. Because often if we stay stuck in that negative mindset, that means we're constantly going to be manifesting more of that negative experience. And a lot of times we will subconsciously suppress it within us and then subconsciously express it and not be very unaware of how we're expressing that in other people's lives. So that could look like a man who may have grown up with an abusive father who's like, I'll never do that. But then they become a manager of a company and unintentionally abuses their employees in whatever way, you know? So you have to be very cognizant, whatever, be very aware of some of the things that you really dislike about like family members that you don't want to be around, so you don't remanifest that unintentionally. And you have to be like, well, that person was very abusive, but you know what that person was? Persistent. You know, they were very persistent. Anytime I used that yellow cup instead of the pink cup, they would always get mad. At least they knew what they wanted. And it's sad, you know, sometimes you got to do it like that, but, you know, it helps the mind. It helps the mind. So, you said, hey friend, welcome back, Mochtaba. Hey friend. You said a lot of stuff is hereditary. Facts where we go. Johnny said we have a genetic family and a cosmic family. I know we talked about that before too in that book called It Didn't Start With You. If y'all want to read a really good book that teaches you about this topic that we're talking about, read this book. It Didn't Start With You. Let me see. Hold up, that's not the book cover. Oh, here it is. This is what it looked like. If y'all want to read a really good book, this is the book that you want to read. They have the audiobook like on Libby.com. If you have a library card, you can listen to the audiobook. Hey Erilee. Hey Zahid again and again. Oh my god, girl. Go drink some water. Hey GR. Hey MacMan. If y'all want to read a good book, that's the book to read. I'm telling you. It's going to teach you how these things are hereditary. So it's up to you to figure it out. You want to know how you love, how you manifest your life? Sometimes it's so unintentionally, you're so unaware. Like, let me tell you an interesting story. This is actually trauma. I'm going to tell you a traumatic story. I'll try to be very... I realized this story once I read that book, because it tells you something. It teaches about how we unintentionally remanifest events that happened that were unhealed in previous lifetimes, right? So like in your mom's lifetime, you know, a lot of people think, oh, what's the word? A lot of people think like reincarnated. Sometimes it's not that you're experiencing the same situation from a previous reincarnated life or whatever that is. Sometimes you're just remanifesting the trauma that your parents had, or your grandparents, or your great-great-grandparents, something like that, you know? But I remember I had a very traumatic experience moving to a different state. Just know that it was a lot of things that happened that included me getting into a fight and getting at the club. Just know it was a very traumatic experience getting into a fight at the club with some people, with a bouncer and some other people. And it happened so, I don't know how it happened, because I was walking with a drink and some random person pushed me and my cousin and our drinks fell, and we wasn't gonna sit there and just allow that to happen. So we started, we started, and it led to, one thing led to another. And just know, very much a tower moment, very much. Just know it led to me getting hit on by a security guard, female. Thank God. If it was a man, it would have been more traumatic. But she was like a man. She was big like a man. I swear to God, that woman was so big. So she damn near was a man. And it was like 2-3 days before I had moved. I had broken my phone. I had moved with bruises on my body. I had moved with unresolved issues in my previous states. Drama. I had a lot of things happen. Just know that in my parents' lifetime, she had the very similar experience moving to the very same state that I moved to before she moved to that state after getting hit on. So these are the little things that you may not realize that you're remanifesting unintentionally. Now, was that my intentions? No, I just went out to celebrate me moving. And all of a sudden, some random girl pushed me and my cousin. I don't know who she was. I don't know why they did that. And one thing led to another. And that's what happened. But I have to be honest and acknowledge, oh, I unintentionally manifested family trauma. Same with some other situations that I learned after reading the book. But that's why I really advise y'all to read that book. It was such a good book. Like, let me see if I can show y'all. Hold up. She already married. Let me not show y'all all the bits and pieces. Hold up. Let me see. So, these books that me and my cousins read in our book club that we used to have, but we all in school now, so we don't have the time to be in book club. These are all the books that we read. You see, it says Bad Bitch Company Book Club 2024 reads. These are all the books that we read. Y'all see, You Are Programmed is right there. So this is the book that I was talking about right there. But these are a lot of really good books if y'all are interested in finding a good book. But just know, you never know if some of the trauma that you're manifesting in your life is just generational. So and mind you, I just told you, right? That we manifest and we create love based on the stories that we heard as children, especially if it was an unresolved story. Understand that if you have stories that your family were telling you and it was unresolved, there was no real conclusion to the story, right? You are going to make a conclusion for yourself by recreating that in your lifetime. That's a healthy amount of books. Okay. Yeah, because we read like one for each month. So I have not really had the opportunity. Mind you, a lot of this was audiobooks. So this really could be called the audiobook club. But hey, it's whatever. Yeah. I can't wait to get back into listening to more. Let me see what y'all talking about. G said, I don't have love. You are love, babe. How you gonna tell me that you don't have love? And you are love. I love you too so much, Etine. You said, marry me. I love you too, my friend, with the, I don't know what type of language that is. John, you said, that's a man. No, I'm telling you, it was a man. She was a man. But you know what? I told myself after I moved, I said, if I can't sue y'all for what just happened, oh, baby, y'all gonna be closed down. I don't know how. But don't play with me because I really do feel like life do not play about me. And guess what? I found out 6 months later, they closed down. So, y'all not there no more. Go to hell. That's how I feel. She got her karma, hopefully. Who knows? I didn't even, once I moved, I kind of bossed up. So, life got better. You said, I'm just a lonely dark wolf. Okay, friend, if that's who you want to be, that's who you going to be, baby. Choose your character in this lifetime. You said, oh, really? I don't believe it. I see everything I love in her. Okay. Luis said, hola, Hassan. Bueno, ¿y tú? And you're welcome, Akari. And G said, hey, hermano. Okay. He said, hey, hermano. So I want to know, like, y'all answer. Respond back to me. Have y'all ever seen yourself recreating, like, family things? Like, even, it doesn't even have to be bad, but, like, you may have realized that, oh, I love people the same way that my mom or my dad love people. Maybe my dad was a hugger. Now I'm a hugger. Maybe my mom baked cookies. Now I bake cookies to show my love because that's how I receive love. Have y'all ever realized that? How are you showing your love? How are you receiving this love? How are you manifesting your life? How? I'm gonna give y'all time to think about it. You said I'm the end. Everything eventually come full circle. What you mean? How you said, well, I'm a hugger, but none of my parents was. What made you become a hugger? There wasn't like a shift that was like, oh, this is a great experience. Let me hug people. You see, where do you think that's from? I don't know, baby. I'm asking you. I'm trying to figure out where it come from too. Sometimes you learn through what you didn't like. You know, you may realize, well, I don't like this feeling that they're giving me, so this feeling is better. You say, yeah, exactly. You said, I have no idea. Deborah, now you said, I don't think I ever show love. What? You are love. I'm telling you, you are love. There's a way that you show love. Even if it doesn't feel like that's how you show love, sometimes that's just how it is. Like, even when I didn't know how to show love, my love was through my presence, baby. The fact that I was there showed that I had some type of care for you. Remember, love is a care, a desire. You know, love can be supportive, you know. Not everybody's love is supportive to you, but in my eyes, love is supposed to feel supportive. At least unconditional love. You say you quite touchy, but you don't know where that came from. Do you know anything about your grandparents? Do you know anything about your family members? Anybody in your family? Good night, Zahid. John said he don't got no choice but to love. Okay. No choice but to love. Love also shows like the way you care about things. And remember, the way you do one thing is the way you do a lot of things, right? So just think about your home. Look around your home. How do you love your home? You may not love your home the same way that you love other people, but it will give you an inkling about how you may show up. Remember, we talked about some attachment styles. And in order to bind and build bonds, you have to attach. Okay? You gotta attach. So if you know how you attach to things and people, if you feel like you've never loved anybody, that could be because you have an anxious attachment style. You may not feel safe loving those people, you know? Hey, Early, welcome. Stay. Oh, Early got 2 accounts. Okay, girl. Thank you, Early. You know, I appreciate it, you know? I appreciate it. You said it's Saturday? GR, you said, right, you learn from good and bad examples presented to you. Facts. And then you make a decision. What do I like? You know, we don't just learn from our parents. We don't just get these things from our parents. Remember, we're programmed by everything around us. School system, society, mass media, social media. We're programmed by the teachers that you have, the principals that you have. You're programmed by your neighbors. Even if you saw your neighbor chasing her man down the street with her house slippers on, some bunny slippers, a robe, and a pot and a pan, that's teaching you something about love. Why does attaching sound like a lot of work? Because that's what you made it sound like. Because it's something that you do all the time. You attach to something right now. You attach to this YouTube channel. Hey, friend. You already attached to something. So it's not a lot of work. It's just, I think sometimes it could sound like it's a lot of work depending on what you feel like you got to attach to. So if you like, okay, I got to attach to something that I don't really want to attach to, then you're going to be like, this is a lot of work. But there's things that you like, you know. There's things that you do every day. You might like a certain food, a certain meal that you enjoy eating. You're attached to it. So attachment is only hard if you really don't want to be there. Okay, girl. Early, that's cool. You do whatever you want to do, baby. So do y'all want to continue this conversation? Or do y'all want to talk about something else? GR said, I learned from examples of my older siblings' relationships. Ooh. You know what? If y'all want to know how I learned how to love, was definitely, I didn't think about this, but my siblings in paternal relationships as well. When I tell you, I watched people get done real dirty. And they allowed it because they wanted to be loved so bad. Because they had low self-esteem and insecure. And when I tell you that taught me to run away from those type of relationships, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Hey, Awangu. Hey, baby. I'm doing well. I'm telling you, I said, oh no, this is not for me, buddy. This is not for me. I don't want it. No, thank you. So, yeah, and you know, if you grew up, I know people who grew up with a lot of brothers. You know, if you grew up around a lot of men, a lot of brothers, a lot of times, those are the stories where you'll hear and the women will be like, oh, I know how men act. They be like, this is how men act, and I'm not dealing with it. You know, it can go a few ways. Maybe they become more masculine in how they show up, or they, you know, be feminine and they be like, oh, I know men. Thank you, Awangu. Teapot, whatever that says for you. Said, why are you running? Because I don't want to be attached to that. I don't want to be attached to it. I'm scared. Earlier, you said my dad taught me how to love. I'm still young, but he taught me how to treat people right and respect them. Beautiful. Do I still have the app? No, baby. I looked that up on Google. Hey, true man, I'm from America. Are you from Nigeria? No, but I'm going to go to Nigeria one day. Okay, early, I know, baby. You said I stole this account. Okay, girl. Yeah, I actually was in track. I used to run track. I used to be a track star. I used to run 4x4, the 100, the 200, the 400, the 4x4, 4x1, 4x2. I used to run them all. Okay, not y'all going back and forth in the comment sections. Okay, Pat. Thank you, baby. Welcome to the community. What am I doing in America? I'm living. I'm living live. Not your brother on the iPad. Y'all are a hoot. So, okay, Rico, you know you kind of look like you ran track. You kind of look like you ran track. Early girl, go get that iPad and turn the iPad off, girl. Go get that iPad and turn it off. Y'all text it in the comments. Y'all in the same house. No work. Yeah, I work. I work. See, the conversation's off topic. It get like that sometimes, Pat. But that's why I was asking, if y'all want to keep having this conversation, put a 1 in the chat. If y'all want to continue to talk about, you know, who taught you love, how you develop love, what that looks like, put a 1. If you want to talk about something else, put a 2. Thank you, Awangu. John said he played basketball. Okay, John. John. You play basketball. Durban Knights said never track, only play rugby. Mind y'all, Durban Knights is from South Africa. Did I say that right? Okay, so we got a 2. GR said let's switch. Pat said 1. What else y'all think? Because now it's just half and half. Pat said either one is fine. Let me see. Girl, relax. You are okay. Owangu said, I do not believe in love. Okay. It's a lot of people who done said that tonight. Anytime, girl, anytime. It's a lot of people who said that tonight. They said they don't know how to love. They've never been taught how to love. They don't believe in love. But only 2 people voted. So how am I supposed to make a decision and only 2 people voted? We already over the hour mark anyway. So let me give y'all a couple of more seconds. If you want to continue the conversation, put a 1. If you want to change the topic, put a 2. 1 to continue the conversation. 2 to change the topic. Remember, we're talking about who taught you how to love. 1 to continue the conversation. 2 to change the topic. You said, because I have not found one. You have not found one what? JJ Dubs said, my family taught me how to love. To answer your question, thank you, baby. Show some love, double tap the screen, period. John said it don't matter. Durban Knight said 2. Sergio said Lil Wayne taught me. Okay, period. Real Rico said I'm good either way. Alondra said, do you believe in love? Facts, I do believe in love. Early said 2. How long did you plan the stream to be? First of all, when people say me like that, people spell my name, I be so shocked because people did not start like spelling my name like that until like recently. Like before being on, like coming on live. But like people never said me like that until like recently. So it just be throwing me off because I've only associated people calling me like that to a specific group of people. So now the fact that y'all calling me like that, I don't mind it because I love those people down. I love them down. And I love y'all down. So I just like it because it's a new way to spell me. So, but I didn't have any particular plan for how long this live was going to be. Usually it's about an hour and a half, an hour to an hour and a half. So that's why I'm always like, okay, it's been an hour. So once we get to the hour mark, I know like whatever else. Well, once we get to the 30-minute mark, I know whatever else we talk about, it could be about whatever. So Lil Wayne got a song named How to Love. Girl, John, why they was playing that song? They played that song when I was in middle school. Why did they play that song? They showed us the video and everything with Keke Palmer. Why they played that song to us when I was in middle school? I think it's because we had white teachers and we was under an urban school, if you know what I mean. You know, had a lot of trying to steal your heart. Never something to something. Never teach you how to love. How to love. That song was sad too. That video was so sad. Why did they play that song to us and the girl had to get an abortion? Didn't she have to get an abortion? I don't know why they played that song when we was in middle school. Wangu said, I hate love because of my past experiences. So you must be an avoidant. You must be an avoidant. You avoid it because you're afraid to get hurt again. Pat said, I'm sorry if you don't like me to spell your name like that. Girl, no. Girl or guy. I don't know if you're a girl or guy. No, it's not a big deal. I was just saying that because I just be a little shocked. Like, I don't know. If y'all ever had like a nickname. I grew up with a lot of nicknames. Like, I have a lot of nicknames. Nina, Nana, Mimi. Somebody even used to call me Nani. Like, I grew up with a lot of nicknames. So once I got like, it's not a different nickname. Well, it is a new nickname. People calling me. It's a new nickname for me. Nobody used to call me. On top of that, they spell it M-E-I. That's new for me. So when y'all start calling me, I'm just like, oh, this is catching on unintentionally. I don't know how it happened, but hey, we're here. I don't care if you call me. It doesn't matter. It's just a new nickname. Turtle Duck said, as a strong black man, I was learned not to love. Oh my God. How's the hubbies? Girl, early, my hubby, he doing well. He in there, son, where your daddy at? My son about to go in there with his daddy. Okay, you love the lips, thank you. Okay, Turtle Duck said, period. Am I married to my husband? Yes. I am married to my husband. Boy. Oh, you a dude. See, I don't know. I attract a lot of men on the live. I love that for us. Dang, why you delete it? I didn't even get to finish reading it. Yeah, come here, baby. You want to come up here? He didn't want to be in there with his daddy. He always want to be in here with me. He don't want to be in there with his daddy. No ring on though. You want a kiss? Y'all know what's crazy is he actually do not like it if I kiss him. Like, he'll like do it like so he can smell it. He'll try to smell it. You didn't delete it? Why I say it was deleted? He always looks sleepy, y'all, because he a sleepy cat. I'm Sleeping Beauty and he is my apple. Like, look, if I try to kiss him, he be like, look. Y'all see that? So if y'all ever want to have an avoidant attachment style where you really want to love somebody but they don't want your love, don't get a man. Don't get a man. There's so many women out there chasing men. Go get a cat. They will be that inconsistent love attachment. If you so used to inconsistent love, go get a cat. One day they'll love you. They'll be all up under you. The next day they'll be like, girl, get thee away from me. Right, baby? He just be chilling. Only time he be meowing and stuff is when he want to go outside. I know this off topic, but do you believe in spirits like ghosts? Oh, I have never seen a spirit before. Other people have said that they've seen it, that they've experienced it. I'm just not anywhere near that. So I believe mediums are real. And then I guess if mediums are real, then ghosts have to be real. I just never seen it. I've had my own little weird experiences before when it comes to medium. I mean, when it comes to like spirit-like activity. But I don't know. You know what's actually interesting to me? John said they real. John, tell us more. What was your experience? You know what's interesting to me is because sometimes I'll be laying in my bed and I'll be in the dark because I don't have a TV in my room. I don't sleep with TVs or anything. Just my phone. And so it will be like dark and I'll start to feel like my son walking on the bed. Like it will feel like my son is walking on the bed or moving around me. And then I'll look and he won't even be on the bed. And I'll be like, okay. So I just ain't never seen it. But I'm not saying that it's not real. You said I'm not really experienced it other than I thought I saw my pop out of the corner of my eye. You said me, what I'm curious about is how you connect to your higher education with tarot, astrology, etc. These don't really go together well if you go deep in. I like the question. I don't really just 100% connected to my higher education, but I love communication because I think one way that you manifest one thing is the way you manifest other things. So like I connected to my spiritual beliefs in general. So like for instance, this is one thing that I learned in higher education that helped me to understand spirituality. So you know, chanting, right? It's usually done in like not Middle Eastern, but like Indian cultures. People chant, right? And I like the idea of chanting. It's a really good thing. I've done it many times before. I like to chant. Now, the way that I correlated that to my higher education is when you think about vowels, and this is something I've actually learned reading books. When you produce the sound of a vowel versus a consonant, consonants have constriction, right? So you say s, you have your teeth that constrict the sound that makes it come out, or like zzz, your teeth are closed, your tongue is in a particular position when you make that sound, so it constricts the sound from coming out, right? But it makes that particular sound. But when you have a vowel, it's no constriction in that sound, so it's produced authentically, but it's still shaped. It's still shaped by your oral cavity, your teeth, all those things, your lips. So you say there's no constriction. It's a steady sound. You say, or even sis is not vibration, so that's why it's not really produced. But like ah, oh, it's a steady vibrating source coming from you, which is how I connected. It's like, okay, when you think about unconditional love, if you think about getting into a particular state, you want to be in a steady, stable vibration. And so when you're constantly chanting those sounds, it's because you're producing steady, stable, secure vibrations that correlates to a particular frequency. So little things like that I like to connect to communication. Even like pragmatic skills. So I'm a little nosy, y'all. So when I hear noise, I gotta see what's going on. Even like pragmatic skills, I do. That's something else that I learned with my degree is pragmatic skills, and I like to learn about that because a lot of people learn religion because it teaches you morality. It teaches you how to interact with other people in the world so that the world can flow in a natural way, in a healthy, stable way. But pragmatic skills teaches you how to interact with people. It teaches you how to have a conversation. Don't interrupt people. These are things that I talk about. It's majority of the time you having these conversations with kids who have autism, or for me, I'm having these conversations with kids who are on the spectrum, kids who, you know, have these issues. But in reality, we forget that these are conversations that we need to have with everyday people. Like, you know, that's why I always say when I get my degree, I don't want to just have these conversations with you know, just kids who are on the spectrum, just kids who have autism. I want to have these conversations with real everyday people, because who's teaching y'all how to have healthy pragmatic skills? You know, nobody is really teaching y'all this. You're learning this from your family. So if you have a family member, your family just talk over each other when they talk and they communicate, you're going to go in the real world and do the same thing, because nobody taught you how to take turns. Nobody taught you how to share. Nobody taught you how to listen, you know, all these things. So that's another thing that I take all these into consideration to put into not just tarot. It's not just tarot, but spirituality, mindset wise. That's how I connect the two. Girl, what? Yeah, he passed away on Valentine's Day last year. Rest in peace to Grandpa. John said when you die, you don't leave I'm thinking he's saying you don't leave right away. Okay. John said spirituality connects to everything. Facts. He said thank you for elaborating. Love that. Okay. What do you mean by spiritual in your case? Are you Christian or some other religion belief? If you don't mind talking about it, of course. No, I'm just spiritual. So what that means to me is that I navigate the world based on my own understanding, nobody else's. When I think about religion, I think about someone who refers back to a text to, you know, make decisions. So, you know, some people read the Bible every day. That's how they renew themselves. Some people, you know, they might read the Quran, or I don't really know any other religious texts, but, you know, different people have their own way of navigating the world. I feel like I just navigate the world based on my own experiences, and I make my own judgment using my intuition about what feels right and what feels wrong. And yeah, lots of that. Lots and lots of that. So I'm definitely spiritual. And you said, yeah, you said, what does that mean in your case? So yeah, that's just what it means to me. And spirits is mindset to me. When I tell y'all this is my Bible, this is my religion, I'm not lying to y'all. This is how I follow my everyday life. This is what I go back to. Mindset is spirituality to me, because your mindset is what controls every aspect of you, right? Yeah, God flows through you. The love flows through you. God is love. It flows through you every single day. But if your mindset is not directed toward you, for you to maintain a healthy lifestyle, or at least a lifestyle that you desire, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what religion you follow. It doesn't matter, because your mindset is fudged up. Your mindset is fudged up. So you said, I think I'm kind of the same. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You said don't believe in any particular religion, but I see God as energy. Facts. Oh, John, thank you. I appreciate it. This is why I like to have conversations with y'all. When you have conversations with people who be on the same page, y'all can bounce off of each other. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. It's like those video games. Now we're just bouncing energy off of each other. But I don't, honestly, you know, I'm never going to demonize somebody for being a particular religion, because again, religion, people choose their religion based off of so many factors, you know, cultural reasons, their own experience, their own research. The reason why I chose my beliefs is because this is just what my research has led me to. There's no other reason. And I, in my heart, cannot believe anything else, you know. I cannot sit up here and pretend like I believe anything else, because it just doesn't make sense to me. But if somebody can sit down and make it make sense to me, I'll be open to it. But if you can't make it make sense to me, no, baby. All I need is a little bit of sense to ground me in this understanding, you know. Okay, Pastor said first time here, but you'll be back. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe. Cool to talk and connect to that someone from a completely different part of the world. Pat, where you from? I don't remember you telling me. Y'all want to talk about anything else? I know y'all was talking about ghosts, but y'all didn't tell us how y'all's experience with ghosts. John and Real Rico, I want to know, what is y'all experience with ghosts? Harder through typing like that, but still. Oh. Oh yeah, you did say Poland earlier. Okay, Poland. Yay. Shout out to Poland. Okay, Real Rico got a good one. Okay. I'm open ears. I'm closing the book. I'm closing the book. Oh, mind y'all, remember, we're doing a giveaway. Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Time. We're doing a giveaway. So come back. Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Time. If you want a book. If you want a book. I'm sending them out to all my day ones. My day ones. This is Moldavite. I'm just going to do a crystal show while we wait for where we're going to tell us his story. This is black tourmaline. I used to wear these together. This right here is apophyllite. You want a book, girl? I would love to send you a book, girl. I would love to send you one. This is apophyllite. Sometimes I like to just bang them together because I feel like when energy is like banged together, that's how energy is like fused together. This is how I see it in my mind, right? Like, you know, you bang two energies together and then they come together, they become one, or they fuse together and they create a whole separate energy outside of themselves. It's like two people coming together and making a baby. Sometimes when I'm around my home, or sometimes before I get on live and I want to like Big Bang Theory. Sometimes when before I get on my live and I just want to like get my energy together and like before I do tarot specifically, I want to get my energy together and ground it. I'll rub my hands together like this and warm my hands up, and I'll start clapping. I'm gonna mute y'all so y'all don't have to hear me clapping loud, but I'm gonna show you. So then I do that, and then I feel like a vibration on my hands. I just. And I tell myself, I say, allow the energy to flow through me. Allow me to give positive readings to people that allows them to see what they need to see, hear what they need to hear. I allow God to flow through me. I allow the white light to flow through me. Period. And then, no, I don't do it every day. I don't do it every day. I just do it every now and again before I do readings. Not all the time, but if you do it, you'll feel vibration in your hands. But before I even was into tarot readings and stuff, I went to my first psychic, and she was a palm, like an energy reader. Hey, Arisha, girl. I ain't seen you in a minute, girl. How you been? I'm doing well. She used to read energy, your palm energy. So she would just go hover over your hand, and she would just read your energy. And that's what got me into doing tarot and psychic work, because I asked her, how the fuck did you just do that? I was shooketh. Because she was reading my cards, but at the time when she was reading my cards, you know, mind you, Real Rico, I'm just talking. I'm just trying to be the ad before you tell us your story. Okay, I'm just trying to be the ad before you tell us your story. But she was a tarot reader, so she read my cards, and I was so unaware at the time. So unaware at the time. Everything she said was true, but because I was so unaware, I was like, girl, you're a tarot reader, you're a psychic. I don't believe in that. Like, I was like, she got to be wrong. But so I was like, no, that doesn't sound like me. That doesn't sound like me. Oh my God. That's why I don't be listening to people when they be telling me like they get mad at me, because I was once in those shoes where I didn't believe a damn thing, but it's because I was so unaware. And so she said, okay, we're going to put the cards up. I'm going to put the cards up. Mind you, she did this. Mind you, I'm glad that I was denying what she was saying, because if I didn't deny it, she would have never pulled out the big guns. So once she did that, she said, okay, give me your palms. So I gave her my palms. She read my energy. And then once she was reading my energy, she was literally saying things that I said to myself and was realizing to myself that exact week. And I was like, what the fuck? That's crazy. So after that, she was like my favorite tarot reader. And I always went back to her. She was like the only tarot reader that I would go to. But she wasn't just a tarot reader. She was an energy reader. So that's what really got me into reading energy getting into this. If it wasn't for her, I don't know where I would be. Shout out to her. You said, have you ever read any of the Aleister Crowley works? No, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Okay, GR said positive vibrations, one love, period. Okay, Rodrigo, you said back in 2009, a buddy of mine was spending the night at my house for the weekend. Went to sleep, a sound woke us up, and we looked out my window. I'm not about to play with you. I am not about to play with you, Real Rico. Not you taking John's job and telling all the jokes because you want to be a comedian. He's talking about, I swear. I'm not about to play with you. What was y'all on talking about, I swear? Boy. You are hoots. Me over here really like, what happened? Let me read this. What's going on? I'm excited. I won't be back on tomorrow, but we'll be back on Sunday. We'll have our conversation. We'll do our giveaway. We'll talk about showing love again, but, you know, in a different way. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 more prompts to do. We have 5 more prompts to do before it's over. 5 more prompts. So you said Crowley was one of the most famous occultists, had really deep work on magica, etc. Thought of something you might like. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into it. I love me some occult. Do thou wilt. He was Satanist, Pat. He was a Satanist. I don't really understand Satanists. I don't understand the religion. I'm looking it up because I never really I used to watch when I was going through my spiritual awakening. I used to watch different people, and one of them was a guy who was like an ex-Satanist, and he would talk about, you know, why he switched to like Christianity. And when I would watch his videos, as someone who is not neither a Christian nor a Satanist, it just sounded like he was seeking attention. And he knew that was the easiest way to get attention from these Christian people, was to talk about how he switched from being a Satanist to who he was. But I'm like, something about him just seemed off. So it says a Satanist is someone who follows or identifies with beliefs or practices connected to Satan, but the meaning depends on the type of Satanism. It doesn't always mean worshiping the devil the way people assume. Here are the main types. So there's different types. Okay. Okay, so there's one that actually may worship the supernatural being of like Satan. But there's another one, there's another type of Satanism that sees Satan as a symbol of freedom, individuality, pride, and rejecting hypocrisy in organized religion. Okay, so it's focused on self-empowerment and personal responsibility. That's interesting. So it does not believe in the literal Satan. It just uses it as a symbolism. Hey, Gary, welcome back, babe. Okay, so some of these do, I see only one that says so far that they actually worship Satan. But the other 2 ones that they mentioned said that Satan is just a symbol of tyranny and questioning authority, which is exactly what he was in the Bible. So someone who literally worships Satan is a theistic, but there's other who may be atheistic or secular. So just because somebody says they're a Satanist doesn't mean that they actually worship Satan. It could mean that they just want to be a rebel and want to go against authority. I know, right? I never really looked into that before. You know, at one point when I was really going in deep into studying religion, like not just religion, but like, you know, different beliefs, I used to be scared. I used to be like, I don't know about this. But that's one of the best things that I ever did, was listen to different people. Listening to different people who had completely different mindsets as me was like one of the best things that I've ever done, because it allowed me to see things in a different perspective. Okay. Good job, Sadatin. This whole time, Sadatin been being a mad scientist over there in his world, creating beings. Creating AI beings. So, I hope y'all enjoyed the live today. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. And just like Sadatin said, I can finally sleep. Y'all get y'all's rest tomorrow. Get y'all's to-do list done. Be happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy, stay smart, stay thick if you like me. Stay pretty, stay handsome, stay beautiful, stay smart, stay intelligent, stay well educated, stay you, Booski. Stay you, Booski. You said he was this whole time avoiding taking his meds. Okay. John, don't talk about we know. Don't talk about we know. I'll see y'all Saturday. I'll see y'all Sunday for the giveaway. We're gonna talk, do a giveaway, be merry, have fun, enjoy. I can't wait to see who I'm gonna send these books and journals to. I'm excited for whoever you are. Love you. Love you, Booski. Have a good night.